Have you ever experienced this? Not every negative trait is toxic, and not every person with negative traits is a narcissist. Here's one example. Have you ever experienced this, where you bring up a talking point, a pain point, something that in the relationship is not working for you and it's important to you, and you bring it up because you want to address it, you want to find a solution and resolve the situation. And the response you get will be something like this. And the reason why they respond this way is fundamentally based on two things. They are either unable or unwilling to openly communicate and solve a problem because they are defensive. And then number two, the reason why they are defensive is probably due to a heightened level of either insecurity or immaturity. And so here's the scenario. You bring up something, and rather than address it, they deflect in the sense that they will bring up an issue that happened another time in another context in order to not address this specific issue. And I'll give a very trivial, yet sometimes relationship-defining situation, the toilet seat. Let's say your partner continually leaves the toilet seat up or down. I'm not sure which is the right way to do it. However, for you, it's important. And you bring it up and say, hey, I've asked you multiple times, could you please leave the toilet seat down? Maybe even explaining, because when you leave it up and at night, I go to the bathroom and I fall into the bowl. And that's a mature request. It's not a defamation of character. It's openly communicating about something that you would like resolved. And rather than saying, yes, honey, they say, they get irritated, they get defensive, and then they bring up, well, what about the time that you didn't do the dishes? I didn't complain about that. They have not addressed this specific issue because they are unable to. They are triggered. Their insecurity may be due to the fact that they have a level of perfectionism. They have some type of trauma that they cannot be criticized, and it makes them feel really bad. And they are unable to look in the self and simply say, yes, I can address this issue. They cannot face that seemingly trivial negative comment. And so they will, to protect and preserve their dignity, their pride, their honor, they will bring up something else that has nothing to do with this situation. And the downside of this type of character trait is that nothing ever can get resolved, which means that you are now in a position where you will be afraid to bring up any issues, which means nothing will ever get addressed and resolved. All doors of communication have now been shut down, all because this person wants to simply protect the state of their personality, character right now. They see no room or need for any form of improvement. They can only take compliments. And we are not perfect human beings. In fact, if a critique comes from a positive place, honey, your shoelace is untied. Stop telling me that my shoelaces are untied. Again, simple, trivial example, but some people are like that. You cannot criticize or bring up anything remotely negative. And that is not a healthy person to be with, because you want to be able to openly talk about problems and pain points. Again, the people with these type of character traits are not necessarily narcissists, but by the way, this trait is something that the narcissist will always do, because the narcissist by default has 0 levels of accountability. So if you are in this type of relationship where you are not able to openly communicate, you need to either reevaluate, is this person for you? Or you have to have one of those moments where you address this pain point, stay on topic, hopefully they will understand. Hopefully you can plant a seed for them to grow, because I do believe the objective is not to change anybody. It's all about finding a solution about, here's where we have a gap between our expectations. I want and expect this, you want and expect this. Let's talk about it openly and find common ground. If you want to learn more about empathy and communication, you can read my book, Pink is the Color of Empathy, because this situation that I just explained is fundamentally a lack of empathy from the other person, because they are unwilling to see your perspective. They shut down and get defensive. Pink is the color of empathy. You can also take my online communication course called The Conscious Communicator, and it dives into how to better communicate with other people. Or you can contact me and I can be your coach and guide you through some of these life challenges with other people, with relationships, in particular with the narcissist, or if you are an empath, how to become empowered and stand your ground and honor you. Thank you for watching.